here. The first thing is be comfortable. And this kind of goes with what I was saying before. When you're standing somewhere, try to like lean on something. If you're, if there's nothing to lean on, put the weight on your back foot. Just make yourself comfortable. Take up room. That's another one that's down here on the list. So if you're sitting down, you can usually tell if you look in a room of guys sitting down who the comfortable guys are, and like who are the confident guys and who are the guys that are maybe a little bit more insecure. And it's usually the guys that are taking up room and that look comfortable are the more confident guys. And so just kind of be mindful of that as you go through your day and as you meet people. Just take a second to sort of witness your own body language. How are you moving? How are you standing still? Are you taking up room? Are you leaning? Are you kind of draping your arms over the back of the chair? You don't got to play it like super cool guy stuff, but just try to be comfortable. I mean, it's really easy to remember because all you have to do is basically be lazy, which is sort of the way I always try to remember it. Just always try to make myself more comfortable than I am. And that's usually a good rule for body language. Move slowly and with purpose. A movement that has no purpose, well, what is that? That would be something like a nervous tic, or it basically communicates that you're nervous, or insecure. So every movement should have a purpose, even if it is something like scratching your nose or playing with your hair or something. Do it slowly. Call attention to it, and that's one way you can make all your movements a lot more attractive. Your eyes should do more talking than your mouth. Man, no one uses their eyes enough. Your eyes are the best tool you can use in terms of body language for communicating. What you can do is, one thing you should practice as you're walking down the street or going about your day or whatever, if you see an attractive woman, just look at her and hold eye contact until she looks away. And don't like leer at her or try to creep her out or like stop and then open your eyes wide and stare at her. But just sort of like, kind of notice her and keep walking and see what happens. And this is something that when I first started doing this stuff, I wanted to practice it. And I was blown away by how many women would look back at me and smile flirtatiously. Even just looking at them was enough to pique their interest. Now, I'm not going to say that's like attraction. It's probably like a little blip of attraction. It's not to say that I could just go up and she'd want to make it out with me or anything. That's not probably what would happen. But it was enough for her to just be like, who's this guy? Because it just communicates that confidence, that allure, right? So practice doing this. Get used to it. Get familiar with the feeling of women giving you those eyes back, because not only is it going to prove something to yourself, but it's also going to be really great for your self-confidence. You don't have to be a super attractive guy for this to work. You don't even have to be even regular attractive. You can be kind of pretty plain and have this work. I'm a pretty plain guy, and I've met guys who are a lot more plain than I am, if not downright ugly, do this same thing and have it work well. So you got no excuse. Let's try it out. All right, I want to talk about 45-degree angles here, this is something I talk about a lot, and these images I've even used before in the presentations, because basically 45-degree angles, and when I say 45-degree angles, what I mean is the angle of the shoulders to the viewer. And this would relate in movies. It's easy because the viewer always comes from one place. Statues are usually meant to be stared at from a certain point of view, which is what these photos are of. And 45-degree angles. So you notice the shoulders are not facing us directly. They're facing off to the side. They're not giving us the cold shoulder, which would be 90 degrees to us. They're 45, so halfway between 0 and 90. Halfway between cold shoulder and facing us directly. And this is something that is, as you can see in all these statues, that was deliberate. It's not something they just did by accident. It's a stance that communicates confidence, virility. It's something that it's the stance that often heroes and gods, or warriors were carved in. People of great renown, of impressive credentials, these were alpha confident men. So we should be using this because it does have that feeling. It's it communicates that to people. So as you can see, all these statues, obviously the Greeks and the Romans knew about this. They knew that it had that sort of effect on people, and they were carving that into their marble statues. So yeah, I'll give you some more examples here. Here's how it shows up in films. You got Brad Pitt in Fight Club there on the left, giving a 45-degree angle to the camera. James Bond, of course, the classic, alpha guy, giving the 45-degree angle. One of the most quintessential photos, I think that demonstrates this. And then you have a more recent example with, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, all of these characters obviously inhabit the roles in which they get to portray these qualities that this 45-degree angle is known for sort of communicating. So they're all confident, they're all sort of witty, they're all sort of the main sort of characters that everyone is sort of, attracted to or certainly interested in. That it was deliberate that they filmed them like this. You want to see what happens when you get characters that don't use this and that actually do the exact opposite, which is face you directly. This is what happens. You get creeps, you get psychopaths, and murderers and serial killers. So, and it's done on purpose. Again, it makes you uneasy. And I see so many guys, they approach women and they face them like this, like Hannibal Lecter there on the left, and maybe even Stone facing them like that with a creepy smile. It doesn't help them at all. It really, really hurts them. It's way too much in people's, it gets right into the comfort zone and it creeps them out. And you'll almost always get an initial reaction of repulse. I don't necessarily mean repulse like, disgusting. I mean, they're going to shift their body language away from you. They'll literally be repulsed from you and move because it's just too invading. So it's not to say that, hey, always do 45-degree angles. It's mostly to say, don't do this, and instead use something that's going to help you, which is, shifting your shoulders a little bit. That's something I see guys do all the time. It's just a small thing, but it's going to help you immensely. You will notice right away the reactions you're going to get and how much better they are once you just shift those shoulders just a little bit. And again, it might be something that's going to be a bit robotic at first, and you're going to be like, oh, well, yeah, I got to remember to shift my shoulders. And you're going to do it like halfway through your sentence. It's going to look weird, but that's okay. Just keep doing it and just get comfortable in that stance, relaxed. That's really going to help you. If you go back here, you'll even see they're all kind of leaning back too, right? They're not coming forward like the other characters were. Brad Pitt's, his back is arched a little bit back. Sean Connery looks like he might be coming a little bit forward, but it's mostly, I think, the effect from the camera being a bit higher up. And then Star-Lord, obviously, same thing. He sort of kind of relaxed in the back position there. These guys coming forward. They use some other things there, like low angles and high angles to make him on the right there, the guy from Psycho, make him look like he's giving you a creepy kind of look there with his eyes. But for the most part, it's the body language that really creates that effect.